Huge UFC card coming up this weekend. Jorge Masvidal being added just adds it. It might be the best card of the year. I think it's the best card thus far of the year. There's a couple big cards coming up. You never know when Conor's going to fight. Khabib is supposed to fight this year sometime. And obviously Butterball is going to fight at some point. What's his name? Cormier.
Oh, Jesus.
He's so round. But this is a huge card. I've got it pulled up here somewhere. It's Kamaru Usman fighting Jorge Masvidal for the belt. Volkanovski fighting Max Holloway for the second time. Max trying to get his belt back. Peter Yan going against Jose Aldo. Whenever Jose Aldo fights, it's a great fight. Jessica Andrade fighting Rose Namajunas for the second time. Really rooting for Rose, but God, last time she got dropped on her fucking skull and you thought she was paralyzed. And two of the hottest women in mixed martial arts, and Paige Van Zant and Amanda Ribas facing off at the bottom of the card. And that's just the main card. It's a great fucking card. I'm so excited for this. It's going to be huge. And they're doing it on Fight Island, which adds a little something to it, I think. At least it does for me. I'm very excited for this thing. I really want Jorge to win because he's such an entertainer. He's so funny. And Kamaru doesn't entertain me. Like, I don't find him to be interesting or funny, whereas Jorge kind of is a meme. You know, he's always photoshopping himself into like Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that, and wearing outlandish robes and just being silly and ridiculous.
Sorry, he has a bit of a Nate Diaz thing going on where he just kind of tells his truth, and it's so unfiltered, and it can be kind of funny, and
he's rough around the edges. He's a thug, and I like that. In fighting, like, fuck yeah, that's about as real as it gets. And you got guys like Wonder Boy, who it's like, oh man, this guy's a Boy Scout who just happens to be one of the baddest people on the planet. I bet I could have a very intelligent conversation with him.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got somebody like Jorge, where it's like, I bet this guy's sold some drugs before. I bet this guy's beaten somebody up over a drug debt before. I bet this guy has slapped a woman before. This is a rough customer, right? This guy's a thug.
Customer.
Yeah. And I like that in my fighter. I like fighters who are bad motherfuckers. I don't need them to be Boy Scouts. I don't need them to be admirable or role models. I kind of hold that against them. I want you to be kind of a piece of shit. Like, your job is to go into a ring with another man and hurt him as severely as possible. I don't need you to be doing charity work outside the ring. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care if you've got a good family life. I don't care if you're honorable or if you cheat on your wife or not. I prefer if you do fuck some bitches on the side. Like, let's go. I want a bad motherfucker inside and outside the ring that is not. I don't want an admirable guy. I don't want a good guy. I want a mean, bad motherfucker, preferably with some weird body hair and some facial scars. And I want you to have some illegitimate kids. I want you to like have a criminal record if at all possible.
Some prison tattoos.
Love that. If you got some prison tats that look like Snow did them, I'm 100% on board. That's why I like guys like John Jones and Conor McGregor. That's why I like guys like Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz. I like people who are real as fuck. And it's like, man, if this guy weren't fighting on TV right now, he'd be in an alley somewhere in a scrap with somebody. He'd be in a bar somewhere. And honestly, that's why I like Mike Perry. Mike Perry won 2 weeks ago.
No, he won 2 days ago.
He keeps on winning. 2 weeks ago, though, he won on television, right? And post-fight, they do the little interview. And he's like, you know, I'm not one of these guys that complains about the UFC not paying enough. They paying me plenty, all right? They paying me plenty. But the government needs to stop reaching in my pocket. This is bullshit. Because, you know, obviously he gets paid as a contractor, so no taxes are taken out. And he forgets that, right? So he makes $200,000. He spends $200,000. He's like, me and the IRS going to have to work on this. This is ridiculous. And they just let him keep going instead of being like, all right, Mike. Well, anyway, you were really working the jab in there, and I liked your footwork. No, they're like, really? Tell us more. He's like, I don't know, man. They're just reaching in my pocket. Donald Trump's gonna have to do something. This week, 7 days later.
Wait, there's more. This is my favorite part. He's like, maybe we could do my contract over something, getting the UFC to take taxes out, because if you give me $200,000, I'm gonna spend it. That's just how it is.
The man is not fucking kidding, because he probably made about $200,000. I would guess that's where he is if he wins a fight.
All of it.
Dude, so he's complaining about his taxes and having problems with the IRS 2 weeks ago. This week, by the way, he did not bring a corner man or a coach to the fight. He brought his fucking girl. He brought his hot ass girlfriend in to be his corner. And so this week he's taking her to the dealership, buying her brand new.
She yelled, "Punch him in the face!"
He's like, all right. He did.
Doing that shit.
He's like, best
Great
coach
advice.
ever. So he and she's pretty fucking hot. And so this week bought her a brand new truck, like a $50,000 SUV. He was just complaining about his IRS money troubles. Dropped like 50 grand on a truck. And then, but the week, like 3 days prior, he had bought her a Tesla on Instagram. So it's like either he bought her 2 fucking cars worth about 150 grand in 1 week, or he bought the Tesla, returned it, and then went with the SUV. In any case, wildly irresponsible. Last night, well, I have a video of what he did last fucking night. And by the way, Mike Perry fits the bill of being a street thug, a bad motherfucker, a guy who is not eloquent, a guy who is not to be admired. You don't want your kids to be like Mike Perry, but if you're going to watch somebody fight in a fucking cage against another man and be a bad motherfucker and make you laugh and entertain you along the way, this video shows you why Mike Perry might just be that guy for you. I am cute at 0.
I am cute at 0. I'm ready to watch this guy fight.
I need a moment. My embedded never works like I want.
I mean, you made him sound pretty cool, Kyle.
He's got some face tattoos too.
Oh, the best decisions.
All right, I'm cute at
the whole minute and such.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Okay.
want to see the build up.
All right. Ready, set, play.
No, I stay here. Let's go. I stay here. What do you want?
Go, Mike.
That's his girl.
Which one? That one with the pink or the first one?
You know, they both look the same to me. They all did, right?
Yeah, they look really. It's pretty fuzzy.
Y'all want to call? Y'all calling the cops? I'll stay because if I leave and y'all call, no. I have a side.
So they want him to leave, but he feels like he should stay so he's not missing when the police arrive.
Because if I leave, then did you touch me?
Oh, mine buffered.
Oh, he's faded.
Wait. Can you guys go back to 32
Yep,
seconds? Or 31,
Hang on.
32?
Yep.
32. Okay, hold on. He's hella
I'm
faded.
paused at 32.
I am scrolling back.
Okay.
Pause.
So they called the police on him, and he's saying
He
"I gotta
doesn't
stay
know.
here."
He invented that, I think. They really just want him to leave. And he's like, I'm not leaving. What if you call the police and I'm not here when they get here? Are you guys
So he's
ready?
just making stuff up. Okay.
I think so.
Well,
ready, set, play.
Touch me? Oh, you didn't touch me?
Trying to calm him down, bro. You were hitting my fucking
He
car.
touched me.
You were hitting my fucking car.
So he touched me. He touched me. You can all lie to me if you want to.
this old guy on the left side of the frame needs to shut the fuck up.
Tell the police.
That's good advice.
You know to tell the police. I'm not.
He's mocking him.
Don't you mock Mike Perry. Now you knock the fuck out.
Jesus Christ, gonna kill them.
Good night, old man. I'll go Conor McGregor on your ass. You don't think I would hit an old man?
Back the fuck up. Call the police.
They're very upset.
All right, that's probably enough. It's just screaming at this point.
Yeah.
Is that back to where he pops that guy? I want to see him.
So the old guy kind of comes at him with one of these. I
Is this
believe
Joe
this,
Rogan narrating this? Am I tripping?
Right.
I don't think he was present at the bar, but I do like that he hit him so hard in the side of the head that it like laterally turned his body. So he didn't even crumple like potatoes. He like almost lifted him with the.
I don't even, is that a right hook he threw or some sort of
Yes.
right check
Yeah.
hook? I
Yeah,
don't know.
he threw a fucking right hook, and the guy was coming at him with like this number and like crowd him, and it was a big guy who looks like he's late 40s, early 50s, somewhere in there, maybe.
Had to be 50s.
Had to be 50s,
Talking about
actually.
the old dude that he hit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's 50s, 60s, dog.
Yeah.
Well,
Arian knows his ages.
I know
he's
my age.
KO'd now. He woke up somewhere else. He transported that day. He should have left fucking Platinum Mike Perry the fuck alone. If you're ever at a bar and Platinum Mike Perry is screaming, maybe you don't want to rush him.
Don't touch him.
Don't touch him.
Don't touch him. He's not a fan of being touched.
He hates it.
He hates being touched. He really does. And it's funny. It's like, did you touch me? And his girl's like, he was trying to calm you down because you hit that man.
But he
he
touched
touched me. And I'm just like, my head goes here. I think he felt like the touching was this giant sign of disrespect, maybe, or maybe something he could leverage into justification for almost anything. Like, of course I punched him 4 minutes later. He did touch me on the shoulder or elbow or wherever he touched him. It
seems that he'd been drinking.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's at a bar. He's having a few drinks. They said he was drinking some berry mojitos or something like that. And, when Platinum Mike Perry is enjoying his berry mojito, you do not touch him. You do not disrespect him. And if you are about to have your AARP card, you certainly don't fucking rush him.
You do not look at me. You do not breathe near. Yeah, it seems like I think he overreacted.
I love that video. I wish he'd not said those things he said at the very end. Especially not screaming them in public, but everything up to that, I was loving.
I'm sorry. What did he say? At the very end?
He starts dropping some racial slurs there at the very end.
Oh,
that's why I wanted to end it there. But
is it the one that rhymes with bigger?
Yes, of course.
Haven't you learned your lesson?
Yes,
I forgot.
Icarus flying so close to the sun.
Those wax wings.
I have said that word 0 times since then. I learned a lesson that day.
I learned a lesson. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's a really good video, Kyle.
Mike Perry that made him so much. I saw people on Reddit. It's funny to see the two different Reddit threads, right? There's the MMA Reddit thread, right? And they're all like, talk shit, get hit, bro. Talk shit, get hit. And then there's the public freakout subreddit. And they're like, oh, UFC will cut him for sure. And people are like, John Jones nearly killed a pregnant woman with cocaine in his system. He got a year suspension. And it wasn't even for that. It was for steroids. They just lumped it all together.
No, wow.
And
I didn't know none of that.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't know about John Jones?
John Jones.
I heard about cocaine, but I never heard of I'm not into like backstories of MMA. I just be watching the fights.
He was driving. I don't know if cocaine was true while he was driving, but he's definitely been caught with cocaine several times. You sure of it, Kyle?
He was in his system. He had cocaine in his system. He had a marijuana pipe in his car.
Yeah. So then he hits his car into this pregnant woman and broke her arm. Now, cars nowadays, it takes a pretty good accident to break an arm, right? The cars have gotten so much safer. I can only imagine the collision that it takes to break someone's arm. Cool. So then
Soy boy bitch probably had weak arms. John Jones can't be.
So then he runs from the scene, right? He hits and runs. Pregnant woman, broken arm, and he's like, fuck it, I'm out of here.
He's champion of the world. He's got places to be.
All right. So then he says, oh, wait a minute. I've got
like a woman. Where's she going?
A crack pipe, a bowl. I don't know what he has in his car, but he's got some sort of drug paraphernalia back in the car. So he runs back to the car, not helping the woman, gets his drug paraphernalia, then he hits but he runs twice. He hits once and runs twice, and he got caught.
He's getting his cardio in. He's the champion of the world. He was coming back.
Can't be mad at that. We was talking about your amputee.
Oh fuck yeah, you got some amputee hoes?
I was on TikTok.
Oh, I think it's got music attached though.
It does, and it's hilarious.
You could watch it, Woody, but you got to watch it muted. Oh,
I don't know how to click on this.
It's a joke. That girl is obviously joking. But it's really funny how she did this.
I mean, she really doesn't have. Oh, that's funny. The way. Oh, that's hilarious. I only noticed the eyeball thing, like the second time I watched it. But goddamn, those are some fucked arms. It's great that she has spaghetti-o arms, but she still has enough happiness in her life to break it down.
Facts, right? That's what I got out of it. Honestly, I got out of it. Like, yo, you still doing your thing, but. Like she obviously recorded that by herself, and
she uses those arms on somebody.
Yeah,
somebody's getting penetrated by those arms.
I mean, why not play the hand you're dealt, man, or the hands that you weren't dealt?
You gotta play the hands you're not dealt.
Oh man, it's hard to laugh at this, but this is really creative. Man.
Oh, it's not that hard.
No. Yeah, that's got to be a rough fucking.
Not as hard as it is for her to wipe her ass.
Oh, she's got a bidet, I bet.
Damn.
No I guarantee she's got a bidet.
No question. I
hope she got the one we're sponsored by. I haven't gotten my bidet yet. Did you guys get your bidets in the mail?
No, I haven't received a single bidet.
Would multiple bidets be a bidet?
A bedoxin? I don't know.
Bedazzle.
A bedazzle, maybe.
A bedazzle of them.
You
Jesus
put
Christ.
2 on the same toilet, absolutely blast.
But yeah, I like my UFC fighters to be part-time criminals, and to like be about what they're about. I really do. That's when Conor McGregor hit that old man in the bar that time, and everybody was like, "Boo!" I was like, "Fuck yeah, fuck yeah!" Sucker punch that old fucker. I bet he said something rude.
Yeah, so borderline kill him.
He didn't want to drink, and Connor was trying to sort of force his whiskey down everybody's throats. He's
An
like,
Irishman who won't take free whiskey is no man at all.
It does seem like an unbelievable story now that you break it down. Yeah. There must be more.
I don't care if you're clean 4 months. You're having some. Dumping it down his fucking face.
Why are your accents so on point, dog?
Oh, thank you, man.
You got the Irish and the Russian one. I mean, what else we got, dog?
There's so many.
Many. Just, I drive around in my car and talk to myself as different people.
Totally normal.
Yeah, that's why I can't get behind somebody like Daniel Cormier, who's like
He's so
good-natured family man,
right?
Who fights for a living,
spends his spare time like coaching high school wrestlers.
Oh, that's the worst. Anybody who's into charity too, get the fuck out of here. You shouldn't have. If you've got enough, your extra money should be going to pay off baby mamas and buy abortions and shit. If you've got enough free time and money to be doing charity shit, then you're not the kind of fighter that I want to watch. You're just not.
Does it bother you at all when fighters beat up like normal citizens at all? Like,
I prefer it. I love it when fighters beat up normal citizens because I think equal rights. What is it? Equal rights or equal? What was it?
Equal rights and equal lefts or something like that.
Something like that. Like the same way if a woman hits a man, like legitimately attacks a man, I like it when he beats the shit out of her. Like I equally like it when a fucking civilian goes after a UFC trained fighter and he fucking dunks on their ass. When Cowboy Cerrone head kicked that guy on the beach and KO'd him, I love that story. When Conor McGregor sucker punched that old man, I love it.
Okay.
When Jorge Masvidal knocked that bitch out in the bathroom and he doesn't even know if it was the guy who was after him or not, hilarious story.
So are you saying that hyperbolically?
No, I love that.
Honestly enjoy that shit.
I honestly enjoy that shit. These guys like I'll never understand how people are like, oh, whoa, he fought at the wrong time. We only think it's okay for him to fight when he gets inside the cage and we turn the cameras on. You're telling me he's an actually violent person? It's like, yeah, all he does all day, every day is train to do physical combat. And you're surprised when he KOs a citizen who gets in his face?
Philosophically, I do not disagree with you. I don't, because I was having that debate online with people when I forget the name, but the dude from Cleveland Browns, he hit Buddy in the head with the helmet.
Yeah.
And there was outrage. And I'm like, why are y'all outraged? Like, people get CTE from this sport. You just don't like your concussions within the rules of what you're okay with, right? I do philosophically agree with you, but it doesn't mean I enjoy it. Like,
I don't like it. I don't like it. It's because I put myself in the position of a normal person because that's where I am. So, like, let's take him down the line. Cowboy hit that guy. Now, the way he tells the story is the guy kind of got up in his face. What did he kick sand on his girlfriend? Like
He bumped his boat.
It's like some 1950s Archie. I think there was kicking sand involved. Archie
there
cartoon.
Was sand kicking, girlfriend insulting, and hit and run on his watercraft. This man is a redneck. It doesn't get more serious than that.
I am suspicious that Cowboy's version of the events is totally what happened, right? That
Unfair.
Cowboy's like, I can only take so much more bullying from myself, right?
We have to take the man at his word. We can't.
Meanwhile, Cowboy's a professional fighter who wants me to believe that like random boaters are bullying him and he had to stand up for himself and his girlfriend's honor. But let's say that's possible. There was at least a disagreement that led to all right, cool. Now let's go to the next one. Conor McGregor, right? Conor McGregor punches, or actually I would say the next in the line is Mike Perry, is the one we just saw. Fat old guy who's clearly not a threat to Mike Perry, who's like still in shape from his last training camp, does what? Some sort of calming.
He's rushing
spastic.
him. He's rushing him with hands up.
It was him or me, right?
Dude, I'd have hit that old man too. I'd have hit.
I don't know.
might not
I really
KO'd
like
him
a Crip
that,
in that
but I'd have hit that
situation.
motherfucker.
I feel like
You'd
he
hit
could
him
have
too.
held his wrist, guide him to the ground, and said,
Hell,
"Now look at
funny
you.
shit.
You're
What
on
are
the
we
ground."
dancing now?
The
You'd have
funny-
knocked
the-
that motherfucker
the-
out. You'd have choked him out. I've seen you choke out children.
The funny shit is, like, if that was
That kid was
What?
probably
What's the
18.
response
He
to
might
that,
have been
Woody?
18.
you really choked the cat? That was a joke. You really
Somebody
I've
wrote
seen
me
Woody
and said,
Woody choked
"Woody,
me out.
I'm
Woody
like."
choked out everybody I know.
He wrote me. I done a little Brazilian jiu-jitsu too, and he's like, "Look, I'm on my state wrestling team. We were like 7th this year. It's really cool. Whatever. I want to roll with you." And I didn't write anything because I thought he might be huge or something. I was going to get my ass kicked. And then he meets me at the paintball event, and he's like, "Woody, I'm the one that wrote you. I want to roll."
He's
And
got 50 pounds on this kid.
I had 50 pounds on this kid, so I said, "Okay." I said yes, and
choose your battles wise.
Next thing you know, this poor little son of a bitch is guillotined off the ground, legs kicking, and Woody's just like, "Go to sleep, little man. Your mommy's not here now."
I stopped first tap. He tapped, and it was cool. It was, and he
It was a nervous reaction, not a tap,
but yeah, it was bigger than him. But he was a grappler, and you know, we grappled, and it was fun.
we don't know that old man's sports history. He probably played a little bit of pigskin back in the day, one of those leather caps on.
That old man was ripe for the picking, but at least I feel like he started it almost. You know, now Mike Perry's clearly overreacting, but it seemed like the
drunk
old
and
man was
belligerent.
alphaing him to some extent.
yeah.
You know, so that's why
Ego,
I put him
man.
second. The Connor one, there's a old man sitting in a bar, elbows on the table. I don't know. Let's worst case scenario. He maybe said something to Connor, like, "I don't want your flipping drink," and Connor hits him in the face. That one's really pretty uncalled for, right? Connor started that fight. At worst, the guy disrespected his.
Isn't
whiskey.
it illegal though? Like, isn't it like?
Yeah, I think this is all fine in Ireland if you're Connor. And then
a bit of a soul.
Makes sense.
the worst one is Jose Masvidal. So Jose Masvidal gets in some sort of disagreement in a nightclub, and there's 2 guys, if I have it right, and he hits them both and wins.
Pop, pop.
Pop, pop.
Both of them out.
Both of them out. So then Jose decides to go to the bathroom and
Jorge.
thank you. Jorge decides to go to the bathroom and like clean up or what have you, right? You know,
Just to
sort of
wash the blood off of
off
him.
his knuckles, perhaps not his own blood, obviously. And then another person, just a random guy in the popping off nightclub, walks through the door. So Jose knocks him out too. And Chael Sonnen's interviewing him, and he's like, "How do you even know he was with the other ones?" And Jorge, damn it, is like, "I couldn't chance it." You couldn't chance it, motherfucker? You're like one of the best 185 pounders in the world.
170, but he used to do 155. Big boy, regardless, walking
Big
around 195.
boy, yeah, of athlete, and he couldn't chance a regular person being in the same room as him. That one to me was the worst.
The man could have
of the
cut
worst.
him, could have stuck him, could have blew some sort of drugs in his eyes. People do that. I've seen in movies. You know,
Cocaine.
that's what happened to that's what happened to the people's champ, John Bones Jones. He's 100% natty. He was in the park doing his 325-pound walking lunges. Some fucking crackhead came up to him, blew fucking steroids on him.
Totally
Now he
legit.
pops hot and everybody's making him out to be the bad guy when he wasn't even anywhere near that place where the steroids were. He was beating a woman up somewhere.